Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Awesome. Hello, Diane from the Bahamas. Happy you're joining us. Welcome, everybody. Well, I did send an email out this morning if you had pre-registered that we have had to shift focus a bit. We will be talking about the plant in generalities, but we've been advised by professionals not to speak specifically to the name of the plant. But there are so many plants and so much wonderful healing that's happening this time in our world. So we decided to regroup, and the focus now for this series every Friday at 12 EST will be planet-based healing. And Kim Collier of Collier Concepts, the founder, the mother of all Earth, will be hosting with myself every week. And we hope you enjoy the series and continue to join us. Kim got her start in healing. Well, apparently I didn't know this until very recently, but she fell in love with Sting or had a relationship.
No.
Oh.
No. Do you want me to go into it?
I'm sure. Kim, if you want to tell us a little bit about how you met your husband and got your start, that'd be great.
I would absolutely love to. And before I go into that, I just want to acknowledge this beautiful being between us on my screen and joining us today on the fly with so much love and respect for Cord Coen, who you see on the screen as well. Cord, thank you for pivoting as we had to pivot in response to legal unclarity, if you will, the gray area. So in respect for the legal system and such as that, we pivoted to just talking about plant-based healing, and honored to have you join us today.
So happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. Just a quick download on our pivot, which has happened within the last 24 hours. Thank you all for being here and joining us. I just wanted to share, there's so much in all of our lives right now, bubbling up, coming through. We're healing, we're grieving, we're growing. And many of us, I think, are looking where we've been and where we're going and setting new priorities, new goals, and new growth. I wanted to just share a bit of my backstory, is that I had started in the healing arts by beginning a company called Health Arts in Dallas, Texas. Through these connections working in the music industry and offering massage treatments backstage, I then had the privilege and opportunity to be the massage therapist for Sting. And we had a wonderful friendship, and working with his tour in the United States, he then asked if I would join the tour in Europe. And I said no to Sting and yes to Carrie Collier. And we married in 1990. Yeah, so Carrie and I married in 1990, and we have continued a working honeymoon throughout Southeast Asia, working with top hotel companies in offering plant-based indigenous wellness programming, treatment services, education for spa, for food and beverage, as well as in-room experiences. So that was through the 90s until where we are now. Carrie and I celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary this year. And in the time of our time together as a couple in my own healing journey, I became a cannabis medical patient in 1917. Wow, that's old. That would be 2017 in this lifetime. And it has absolutely rocked my soul. It's absolutely pivoted my work. I've experienced transformative healing, and with that, we've been inspired to start this series, which we really hope to bring forward more conversations about that plant. But in the meantime, we have pivoted to talk about planet-based healing, and still honored to bring in the top leaders, educators, advocates in wellness, science, research, as we talk about how plants can heal us and the planet. So without any further ado, Cord Coen, welcome to you. And please begin to share how you became involved in plant-based healing and how it touches your life as well.
Thank you. You know, really, it was by accident. I mean, I was lucky. I grew up here in Boulder, Colorado, which is I live up in the mountains of Boulder, and it's kind of this epicenter for healthy lifestyle and herbal remedies. So I grew up with Chinese medicine and acupuncture and flower essences and essential oils. That was always kind of in our medicine cabinet instead of the other things. So I was to the power of plants. I also was lucky to be living in the middle of forest and mountains where you could really feel it. And in an early age, I decided that, you know, my passion and my dream was to become a therapist. And had my own private practice before I started ZENTS. And, you know, my real focus was craniosacral and a lot of energetic work, which was passion. Got involved in a very serious car accident. Left to be in the hospital with really intense brain injury, physical injury, full-time in rehabilitation for 1.5 years. Stalled out. I wasn't getting better, wasn't able to walk, talk, you know, was really never supposed to have the life that I live now. And I have these parents that when Western medicine gave up on me, they decided not to listen and told me I wasn't allowed to listen. And they ended up moving me to India, and I lived in India for 1.5 years. And although I had always seen the power of plant medicine, I had never needed it desperately. And I started with Tibetan medicine, which are essential oils and herbs that you take internally, really similar to Chinese medicine. And then did lots of other healing modalities with herbs over there, as well as yoga, as well as breathwork and meditation, and ended up healing over there. And you know, it was really out of that healing where ZENTS was born. I just felt so lucky to have a second chance. And I wanted to be a part of other people's second chances. And that's what our industry does, right? Every single day, people come in not remembering who they are. And we get them out of fight or flight, and we let them remember who they are as humans again. And I was like, I want to be a part of this, you know, whether that's on a treatment table or with specific potions or specific remedies. So I got hooked, and that's how I started my company.
And thank you for that. Thank you for your company. You are clearly a visionary and a light in our industry and in our community. And for all of you on the web just now, Cord is gifting us with some of his breath work at the end of our webinar. That'll be our wrap, is breath work together. And also please tune in to Cord and ZENTS Wellness Room, which, would you like to share that link with us, Cord, or how do people find out about your wellness?
Yeah. So, well, during this time, you know, when all of our friends, most of our friends got furloughed, right, in a matter of a couple days, I was waking up with just a racing mind and anxiety and trying to figure out what was going to happen in this world to all of us in our industry. And I just felt so darn lucky that I had learned breath work and meditation and yoga, because doing that early, you know, I was waking up at like 4:30 in the morning, popping out of bed. And instead of going to the news and getting in that loop, I was like, I need to sit down and I need to clear my mind and I need to raise my vibration. And for an hour or 2 hours or 10 minutes, whatever that is, right, we have control over that. We have this moment, but we have control over us in this moment. And a crazy mind in a wild time is not a good combination, right? So we want to bring as much calm and we want to really help ourselves. So to me, I started the Wellness Room, and you just can hop onto ZENTS Facebook. It's free classes every day, and it's meant for all of our industry. It's a free yoga class, free fitness, and really the goal is, you know, for all of us to keep our vibration as high as possible, and use this moment. I feel like we're at this crossroads, right? In this moment, I feel like we, in this pause of the every world, we are in a moment of creation. What do we want to birth? What do we want to come out of this moment? And I believe the clearer we can be, and the calmer we can be, which isn't easy, believe me. I'm right there with everyone. It feels like a roller coaster ride, but I feel like we will be making some really powerful dreaming, manifestation, and change. So just hop on Zint's Facebook page, free class, and then we're also going to start. You can also go to YouTube where everything's recorded, but it's every day 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, live, but it's always there recorded. So you can go on anytime, morning meditation classes, yoga, fitness, whatever you all need.
Applause, applause, applause. Thank you for that gift. That's really great. And beautiful Stephanie, tell us about you.
Well, I started my career in hospitality, working at a golf course, and grew up there, washing the golf carts, picking up the golf balls, and just really fell in love with service, and being a part of that community. And then got working in the luxury hotel sector. I had gotten my aesthetic degree at one point, and I originally worked in finance, and that was what my degree was in. And got a little burnout on it and decided I want to just go work at a hotel again. So I went to apply for a hotel just as an esthetician. I was like, I've never used this aesthetic license and I want to just practice and connect with people. And they said, you have too much experience. You're going to be an assistant manager. And I don't know anything about being an assistant manager. So just through that experience, 15 years later of managing and hotel opens and now consulting, it's just become a passion. So I love, we also have separate events where we have put those on hold for now, which kind of inspired this whole webinar series because everybody has such great information to give and share. And it's a great time to learn from each other. And we've never had a more captive audience. So just bringing that passion now to webinars and learning with all of you on how to produce and do these. And it's just great to connect with everybody because I miss everybody so much.
I miss us too. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What is the part of our brain in our mind that whether we're live touching each other in a room or virtual like this, we still feel connection?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
I forgive me. I didn't look that up, but it just came to me as you were saying this, that we still, rather than just calling somebody, hitting that video chat, FaceTiming, these webinars, staying connected and seeing each other satisfies our neurological response and our body's response and our need to connect physically, even if it's virtual. So really grateful for the series.
So there's something interesting about that, actually. So our brain, when it's in fight or flight, cannot access the prefrontal cortex of your brain. Prefrontal cortex is part of your brain that feels community, connection, higher thought, dreaming, love, right? So what happens is we're designed beautifully. We're magnificent in the way that our bodies and our brains were designed. That back in the day when a tiger was chasing us, it was really important that we weren't thinking about dreaming about bigger vision, right? That we need just to shut off that part of our brain and run. So, but what's happened in the modern day world, this hamster wheel that we all were on, racing so fast before this pause, is that most of us, scientifically it shows that we were in fight or flight from morning until night. So that means that the higher part of our brain of connection and love was actually not getting the access for us as humans, as humankind. And actually the breathing exercise, the healing breath exercise that I'm going to show you all, strengthens your lungs and detoxes your body. But one of the main purposes of why I'm teaching this in this moment is to get people out of fight or flight. It's scientifically get you out of fight or flight so you can go here. So at this moment, we are recognizing how important connection with ourself is and how important connection with our planet, what's happening with the planet, what's happening with the earth, and with each other. So I think it's a profound moment if we can get out of fight or flight to see the good that is also coming with this very, very real hard things too,
So we're evolving. We're collectively evolving together at the point in time in history. Is that possible? I think so too. I think there's an evolution and the silver lining of all of this. That's what we hope to focus on.
Very good. Well, we have crafted a series of questions, and I'm going to put the first one to you. So during this COVID-19 time, do we have any positive stories that have come out of this pandemic? And how has it impacted our planet and the environment during these challenging times?
Cord?
First, I want to say that before I jump into the positive, that there are real hardships that are happening. And I read something that was really important that said, although we're all sailing on the same sea, there are different ships that we're all in. And obviously people that are worried about where their food is going to come the next day and how to feed children. And, you know, there's a different level of what they're thinking about than someone that doesn't have to worry about food and shelter. So like, I just want to really recognize the real challenges that are happening for so many people in the world right now. And the beauty that comes out of it for me is, for me, I always thought there was going to be a moment where a pause was going to come, and I thought it was going to be war, to be honest. And instead of war, it has been something that has brought, it is this invisible virus that has broken down boundaries, broken down walls of Chinese, American, Italian, Black, white, gay, straight, rich, poor. It's just something that we all are going through. And within that, it has made us realize that we're all human, and we all have fear, and we all have tears, and we all have love. And I think it has there's been a unified moment with humankind that is like no other moment. And I think that is unbelievably profound and powerful. And I believe if we're smart and we really work hard, that a lot of good things can come out of this for people and humanity and the planet.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. I have nothing to add to that other than amen. And also acknowledging that this is a sacred week around the world. It's, you know, we have faiths, all faiths within this week. I'd like to honor and acknowledge that sacred and the strength that comes with faith, and the strength that comes with community and compassion and caring for each other. And I just want to, you know, I know in the United States, 10% of the population doesn't know where their food's coming from today, at this moment. And that's probably a small number.
Right.
So reaching out to your neighbors today, tomorrow, this weekend in this sacred space, bringing, you know, bring a gift of food, bring a gift of community, bring a gift of love in any way that feels real. And I'm going to cry, so I'm trying not to go there. Just reach out to people and build community and support each other, and bring food. Food's good. Something we all need. I mean, we're getting down to basics here. We're getting down to real basics of love, community, and survival, compassion, and moving forward. Like you said, Cord, this is the opportunity. What's that? It's a great clarifier.
And I see it as a magnifying glass of us truly seeing what's important, what's not important, what's important in our life, what's important in our community, what's important in our world, what's important in our industry, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I think when you're living in, I was talking to a friend in Los Angeles that lives up in the hills and said, there's blue sky. Like, I hope we never go back to, once we do get on the other side, I hope this teaches us all. And I think that it is. I think that there's going to be, when we get out on the other side, and we will get out on the other side, there's going to be a deeper wisdom of, my goodness, we've been doing to ourselves.
And the planet, the impact we have.
We've been doing to the planet, you know? So I think one amazing thing is that we're really seeing the planet thrive. We're seeing how important and magnificent and strong it is without us. And I think there's going to be a deeper, I think there's going to be deeper data When we go back, when it says, no, look at what happened, how this earth, look at how much better it is. More people die from lung disease that is caused by pollution than many other things that are happening. So we're going to really have data on that. I also believe we're getting more spa and wellness goers by the day. And what I'm seeing this firsthand with the wellness room. I'm getting private messages from, Sally Joe from Alabama, or from someone from Mississippi that has never done yoga, that has never meditated, has never done anything, but they're having such intense anxiety in this moment that they need something. And I believe that in our industry that there's going to be a deeper movement for unbelievable wellness. And I believe our industry is going to be actually more profound than ever, and that we're going to have a whole new group of people that have never been introduced, been into our industry, that will now be really, really seeing the value of treating yourself good and your immune system and being healthy, right?
So are we seeing an upswing, do we think, an appreciation for nature and people reconnecting to the environment? And are we going to love our planet more? Will that be something that comes out of it?
Yes. Well, that's the eternal optimist in saying yes, absolutely yes. And to further the changes that we've seen around the world, from China and their blue skies, like the hills of the Hollywood Hills in LA, to seeing the effect of clear water in the canals in the Venice, Italy. And this, we are seeing clearly our parasitic effect on the planet, and this global change making changes in nature. So the connection is now clear, visually, physically. So yes, absolutely, more coming to wellness, and more, as Jonathan Paul de Virville said in our comments just now, anchoring to hope. How can we all anchor to hope and keep this change and keep these shifts? I personally am already committing, as many of you are. As much as I'd love to travel, I will not be traveling as much and not flying as much. Virtual conferences, connecting globally through digital technology. And that's just one small step for mankind, for humankind. Well world, wellness for all.
We just had a question from Professor Paul. What will a first social safe dinner or banquet look like? So I guess gathering people together.
So what will the first one be? Is that what the question was?
That's a great question.
So
I think on this, how you interact with each other. Go ahead.
I've had an interesting glimpse of this. We work with the Shangri-La Resorts worldwide, and they're in 111 properties, but all in 32 countries, many of them in China. I've become really good friends with, obviously, the therapists there that I went and trained, and the spa directors, and China's starting to open up, right? So I've been watching everything shut down, all of their spas shut down way before ours, holding my breath, hoping it didn't keep on going to other countries, which it has. But now what's happening is it's starting to open back up. But people are fundamentally changed. There is a deeper appreciation and kindness that my friends in Shanghai and Beijing are seeing. There is also a new level of carefulness. There is people are not crowding in to restaurants. Restaurant tables are further apart. So it is really changing how people are. People are not feeling as comfortable in super crowded areas. So dinner parties, I think if we're in a warm area that can be outside, that sounds like a good first one. A table outside.
Yeah, fresh air, fresh food.
Picnic, everyone grab a blanket and do picnics 6 feet away from right now and be able to talk to each other. But maybe it's going to be 3 feet away,
Yeah, that's it. And we're used to... Go ahead, Stephanie.
I was just going to say, another question is, how are we going to integrate in communities without fear? I think there's so much fear-based Now with touch or connecting with people, how are we going to reverse our minds back to touch and being with one another again?
Oh, I love you all. Thank you so much for bringing that good question up, Stephanie. Radical self-care will start with touch and loving ourselves, as Cord has opened up and continues to be the light and bring us all to realizing that how important touch is for first our own self-care, our own energy medicine healing, our own prayers, our own soul strengthening. And then from that, self-care, radical self-care, these things we're doing to take care of ourselves. But Stephanie, to your point, bringing forward a lot more sanitization. The future Star Trek has arrived. I mean, really, in terms of how we're going to have sanitizing wipes, sanitizing lights, wiping down, standards operating procedures have changed. We'll be tentative. There's a little PTSD here now. I mean, we're all really dealing with the new normal. So I think less people in spaces, reservations at a restaurant, for example, maybe less number of people, less crowded situations, monitoring how many people are in an exercise class, in a sauna, in a steam, in a spa. So smaller gatherings, I think, will be part of our transition to the new normal. And
I also think
monitoring.
there'll be radical innovation. There always is, right?
Right.
Any door that closes, there's new doors that open with brilliant minds. And there's no doubt that there are brilliant minds around the world conquering this right now. And there will be levels of, with light and with, sterilization that we can do in a really healthy, healing way to spaces, to ourselves. I think that may become a big part of our new normal, and I hope that it's not with fear. That there will be. I hope that we can, with our minds, bring it to a place of like, hey, how can we figure out a way that this is going to be the safest for us all, so we don't have to think about it, but also something that's healthy and good for us and the environment. There's amazing minds out there thinking, I'm sure, thinking about this right now. So I can't wait to see what they come up with.
Exactly. We're thinking out of the box.
I was going to say on yesterday's call too, Carrie mentioned that in Copenhagen now they have a self-cleaning hotel room. So I think things like that are going to just become the forefront and the standard that guests expect when they travel.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So back to plants. If the world had one plant to depend on, what might it be? And what is its greatest bounty?
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Wave the flag, girl. Wave the flag.
I don't know. What do you think, y'all? I don't know. And that's that. That is that.
A gateway to good health.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. A gateway for world healing. Please, everybody get in your garden, start planting your favorite plants. And if you can include hemp in that and support the growing, thriving hemp community, this helps from the ground up and every level. Food, fiber, medicine. I think Cord and I resonate on that.
You've gone to quite a few. You are the queen of CBD and conferences.
No. I'm an eternal student.
You are in that network and you connect with a lot of people. And I'm curious because there's so many ways they're using hemp now, correct? Like in buildings and materials and it's fascinating.
Yes, the built environment, hempcrete, hemp, the biomass is used in alternatives to plastics and packaging. So that's the end result of the processing of hemp, but from the ground up, even the roots is medicine, the stalk is as for the built environment, and fabrics and alternatives to many synthetic or chemical type of building materials, if you will, and then all the way up to the plant, the leaves and the bud and medicine and food. Please, everybody, get those hemp seeds in your diet. Sprinkle hemp seeds on everything. Essential fatty
One of
acids
the
for
things
all.
that's also amazing is, obviously a plant that's not only good for us, but good for the earth and the environment
Exactly.
I think we're going to be looking for double wins. I think it's going to be more important than ever. So for instance, of course, hemp is used and has been being used for years for chemical spills. It was planted in Chernobyl to clean the earth. It also collects pollutions and toxins. So, it's so phenomenal for healing this earth. And then what's so amazing is it's also so great for us. And so I think we're going to start putting our, so that would be my answer to that if there was one plant. But the great thing is there are many plants out there, and we're really, I think, with this new appreciation for nature, I do believe there is going to be a return deeper and deeper for all. I think we're going to see that in our industry. I'm working on a few projects right now, of course, like, spas that are slated to open in July, August, September are still going ahead, right? They've been funded and they're going ahead with plans. So right now I'm working on a really beautiful project that they have an herb garden. And someone's going to check into the spa and they're going to walk them through this garden and they're going to see what plant they're drawn to. And then that is going to be used throughout the treatment. Yeah, so
beautiful.
Can you disclose where that's going to be, Cord?
I can't expose it yet. I'm really excited about it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
We'll have to wait.
I am seeing this really interesting new thing that, like, I think more outdoor spaces, I think more connection to earth, which we've always been the forefront of in our industry. Yes. So I think we've always been the womb, right, of introducing people to themselves, introducing people to earth, plants. And I just think that's just going to become stronger and stronger with us in our industry.
Absolutely. Yes.
While we're on CBD, we had a question. Kim, as you're aware, for our program and our time in the Bahamas, this past November, there have been some changes to CBD and cannabis discussions, decriminalizing. Right. But many people there are still having a challenge bringing in CBD because of the labels with importation. So are there any labels that have or any products that have CBD but do not highlight it on the labels?
That is a difficult situation because, full disclosure, you have to put on your label what's in your product. If they don't, some companies are just saying hemp seed or hemp seed oil or hemp extract. That might be a workaround, but again, that depends on, there's too much gray. There's not enough clear definition from federally to the Caribbean to globally. We're in such a gray area now. So to succinctly answer that question, probably if it's okay for customs and immigration to accept hemp seed extract, hemp extract, that might be a workaround and an honest way to still offer some of the healing properties. Cord, what are your thoughts on that? Yep.
I was going to say, how do you mark it on your label?
For the Caribbean, we're just starting to work on a project, obviously, in the Caribbean. So we're kind of doing a deep dive of what that will look like for that region. We're really just looking region to region. Our labels, we are definitely sharing it really upfront, but we are ready to do different type of labeling for different regions and different countries. So it's really, I think, finding a company that's passionate about it, that's willing to do the extra work per region. And for us, we want to spread it around the world, so we're just gonna have to look at country by country.
Very good.
So that's very good. That's great. And love to share at this point in the Caribbean. Thank you to Stephanie and also Kimberly Acker, who was on the call yesterday from Belmont. Delighted that ZENTS line and Tara will be part of what's happening in the Caribbean and launching with the Belmont property in Anguilla. as one of the features. And the
I wasn't
beauty
sure
of
if I
that.
was allowed to say that. Yeah.
You are allowed to say that, I
Excited.
guess. Yes. God willing, if all goes as forward, it's in the final collection of products we bring in. But of course, Abet Customs and the challenges of getting everything moving. You all, just so you know, my battery is low. I'm on 20%, and I have my headphone in, so I can't charge. So if by chance I go away, that's why. So please carry on with me just in case.
So another question, are there any environmental groups that you all support that you feel are doing really great work?
Absolutely. If I may start, Cord. In fact, I just signed another, I'm definitely an advocate for planet and people, as we all are, but please check out the Center for Biodiversity. The Center for Biodiversity is really working to, for example, protect the Arctic. Right now, their core effort and focus is not having oil drilling happening in the Arctic, and finding alternative ways to energy. But first and foremost, the Center for Biodiversity is about just that, protecting the diversity of the planet. So that's one I'm really behind and passionate with. And then, hope this isn't too political, but I think Planned Parenthood is really important as well. And that's another one I support, as well as UNICEF.
What about you, Stephanie?
I think they're all great ones. We work a lot in the hospitality sector. So there is an organization called CREST, which is focused on sustainable tourism. It's very affordable to be a part of CREST, and I went to their conference at the United Nations Peace Center in Washington, D.C. this past year, and it was incredible. It was just jam-packed with so much great information about what people are doing all around the world through diversity in travel, sustainability. I don't know that we have a problem with over-tourism right now, but we did have a major problem in certain regions prior to this. And also responsible tourism. There's so many interesting things that come up with that when we talk about our planet, but even things that we don't necessarily think about psychologically that we do. For example, if you go to a poor region and you give kids things, or you visit kids, or it's just interesting in how they're framing things. So we're being socially conscious of how we want to give philanthropy or support these regions, and also take care of our environment. So I think that's a great one if anyone wants to.
Can you repeat the acronym? Do you mind to repeat that, Stephanie? Was it CREST?
CREST, kind of like the toothpaste.
But not. Gotcha.
But not. And you, Cord?
I really love the ones that Kim mentioned, and they're ones that I'm personally passionate about, which is no surprise. The other thing that the other foundation an organization that I really believe in is biodynamic and Demeter certification. So, I really believe in for people that don't know what biodynamic is, it would take like an hour to really talk about all the levels of it. So if anyone is out there that wants to know more, go on to the Demeter website. But basically the simple, super easy, short, abbreviated cliff note, it's like the next phase of organic. It's uber organic. So not only is it pesticide free and chemical free, but they really pay attention to putting plants next to each other that are compatible. So instead of stealing the same nutrients, they're going to help each other grow to create the most powerful plant medicine. It's about healing the earth, the soil. It's really about regenerating the entire earth, the soil, and the plants and animals on it. So what I love about it is I just feel like it's this unbelievable full 360 vision of how to heal the planet, create the most powerful plant medicine for food, for herbs, for whatever, and also help animals and people on it. So I just think it's really beautiful and really important for this moment in time.
So cool. One of the first lines I ever worked with was Jura Leaf.
Me too.
And Yeah. And we got to go to, the professor's just mentioning now, we got to go to a biodynamic farm in New York, and they did a whole training there, which was an incredible experience. And he's mentioning Rudolf Steiner's books, and I've read quite a few of those.
Thank you, Professor Vivo.
Yeah, who's based in Australia. So it's fascinating, the work that you can do with biodynamics. So thanks for.
We're lucky in Colorado. We have so many little biodynamic farms here, of course, organic, and then in the process of going to biodynamic. We work with an amazing biodynamic, a couple actually biodynamic farms. So we get all of our flower essences that we infuse. It's kind of the secret sauce, the potion that helps. I call it our stress relieving happy juice that's in all of our products. But
amazing.
Something I really encourage people to do at this moment is look at an organization that's global and for the country and your community. That's what I always say, whatever you're passionate, do those 3 levels, big level. How can we help the world? How can we help this country too? How can we help our state even? And then how can we help our little community here? And just really look at ways to vote with your dollar and your time with that.
That's brilliant.
That's wonderful. I know. You always start in your own backyard, right?
In your own heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So wellness, I really want to talk about, is it going to be more accessible after all of this is over to everyone? I think spa and wellness has always been seen as a high ticket price or investment, and not accessible to everyone. So are we going to see a movement or a shift where there's different categories in the future and everyone's going to be able to have access to all these wonderful things that we've been taking advantage of our whole lives? Kim, you're shaking your head.
Boy, yes, I'm thinking of ways to implement that, starting with kids in school and foot soaks and teaching acupressure and understanding energy medicine and getting out in the garden. So I would say from a holistic, well-rounded perspective of everything that could be possible, and strengthening our immunological response, strengthening the planet's potential to heal as well, I would say a resounding yes. Now's our chance. Not now, when?
I think there will continue to be both. I think, of course, there's still going to continue to be unbelievable luxury resorts that will offer incredible retreats and deeper wellness retreats. And I also think that we're going to have both in not the luxury realm too. And in all honesty, I think it's already been happening for a long time in certain areas. Again, I'm kind of a bubble here in Boulder, Colorado as an epicenter for wellness, but there are unbelievable, a day spa such as Dragon Tree here, which is
love Dragon Tree
and amazing and incredible deep wellness for anyone. But also, Kimball Musk lives here, and not only does Elon's brother, and he started this incredible foundation that goes into food desert areas for schools and created organic greenhouses for children. Look at the Lynch Foundation. That's a foundation dear to my heart. He goes into schools and teaches meditation, mindfulness, and they're seeing a huge decrease in crime and violence in those schools. So what's beautiful is it's been happening, but will this become more important? And is this are we all going to understand, wow, this food is really important, what we're putting into our system, into our children? This our mind is connected to how healthy we are. Something interesting about this virus, and I'm just going to put a thought into it, is it's interesting how it attacks the modern day lifestyle, the things that come with our modern day lifestyle, right? It's the hamster wheel that I was talking about. It's so easy not to take care of ourselves. It's so easy to not eat what we're supposed to do because we're just all so darn busy, right? So it's interesting that it really is attacking some. Now I know we're not not sure. There are some surprise cases, but there is definitely, I think, a belief that the healthier we can be, the stronger we can be, the more important this is. And we really are seeing the importance of treating our bodies a lot sweeter. At least I am, you know. I know from a busy schedule and traveling, boy, I've been like, boy, I wasn't as nice to myself as I could have been to be as vibrant and healthy. And I think I will look at that differently. And I think other people will probably too.
True.
That's excellent.
Go ahead.
Well, just share to go back to our great conversation yesterday as well. Resilience, our ability to be strong, to be creative, to be the health and wellness aspect, yes, but also resilience in so many areas that are just, we're empowering that now.
And you know, children are a passion of mine. We work with the Global Wellness Institute and have Global Wellness for Children initiative, as well as Whimsy World, which focuses on the creative arts for children that are high risk. But I cannot tell you, the most frustrating thing in my life is when I go to my friends' homes and they have their small children and all they eat is corn dogs, chicken tenders, French fries, and drink juice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you wonder why your kid is at a level 100 on the crazy scale. It's because their diet is so terrible.
What do we do with pesticides? What does our body do with food additives and colors? Yes, it affects us in weird, possibly unhealthy ways. But Stephanie, I was one of those parents. I mean, a Happy Meal was a cool deal. That was like, hey, a reward. And then I woke up. I got woke, right? And realized, what am I feeding my children? But no judgment. I mean, it's hard parenting. Right?
I judge. It's hard parenting, but I'm like,
here, have some spinach.
Standard here. You set the standard. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be any sugar or any bad food, but kids need vegetables and full diets that are nutrition.
We do. We do. And just to add to that, here in Whitefish, Montana, our high school has started a Center for Sustainability, and it is a greenhouse. And all the high schoolers are educating the elementary and the middle schoolers about gardening, about sustainability, about environmental issues. So it's cool, and it's happening within the school district. Another quick thing to highlight, I'm really excited about this, in the Global Wellness Institute. Just this week, I was asked to join the Massage Makes Me Happy initiative under Lindell and Wolf. That is another great resource and something to support, is the Global Wellness Institute. If you all don't know about it, please do check it out. They're doing really great work also.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk a little about the spa guests. Do we think we're going to see an increase in spa guests, or is there going to be a consumer drive for different types of services? What do we think the new spa guest is going to look like? Because we know historically 80% of our services are massages typically, or higher.
Kim?
I would, thank you. Spa at home is everything. So the spa guests, yes, they'll still coming. They'll still be interested. I'm ready for hair treatment, get the unibrow taken care of, schedule a massage. Absolutely. But the new spa experience will be different. As I mentioned, less density of clients, more time and space between people and appointments to allow what needs to happen. But also self-care, radical self-care, spa treatments at home. This is really a shift where people will be bringing more wellness into their life. And I think that's going to be a big shift. We'll be taking better care of ourselves. God, I hope so. And our planet and our families and our community. That's a broad answer, but what do you think, Cord?
So
Cord,
what we're seeing in other parts of the world that were hit first, we are seeing that the restaurants and hotels and bars are more crowded than the spas right now. And they are expecting that for the rest of this year, that there'll be a slow and steady climb. but that people will be more comfortable in other things. You know, spa is incredibly intimate. We're really, really close to people while we're massaging or giving facials. So I do think there is this extra level that people will be thinking about. So I think we're going to have to be really creative. I think there's going to be in spaces that are created in spas, you know, where people can actually at home or in a property can be doing some really cool rituals. I actually know someone that's thinking, you know, working on a program right now over in Asia to kind of play around with that. I also think spas are going to be getting into a stronger digital presence and how they can be supporting people at home, how they can be bringing the spa experience at home. Can they be, you know, getting the product right there? But do I think spa will come back? 100%. And I think we're going to have way more people, like I was saying earlier on this. You know, a lot of things can be replaced in this world. You know, the faster and the deeper we go into the future, but human contact is actually what we're all wanting and needing. Even this beautiful moment of us seeing each other's faces, which I really appreciate, and it's better than a phone or it's better than email, but it's still isn't as good as if I could be with you and give you a hug, you know, and really be with you. And that is that's what we do. We give this to people that don't have it in life, that can't get it anywhere else, or are getting it other places, but still need more. This is our power. And it will never go away. Humans will always need that. And we're going to need it more after this. But will we?
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are.
That we put things
Well,
and we'll have new innovation that helps with that.
it's interesting. I was on just to kind of talk about timelines, because I know everybody's feeling anxious and nervous about when are we going to be out of phase one. I think it's going to be a longer road for some. Just to speak to the Caribbean region specifically, I was on a call with Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association this week, and there's so many factors that are impacting reopening. So one thing we have to think about, sure, we'll get the cases under control, and thankfully in most Caribbean countries, there's not huge outbreaks. But what's happened is the feeder markets, which is, you know, which are New York and all of these places. So we have to wait for them to rebound. Plus, airlines have canceled all of the flights. So then we're going to have to wait for the flight and the lift to come back based on the demands and the negotiations that these countries can do. So timelines, we have to, I think, talk to ourselves realistically. Like, we can be positive, but the timelines for the Caribbean, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And places. I think we're lucky for us three to be in the US, because we're going to see an uptick in travel, like driving to Boulder for a spa treatment or things like that. But I think our Caribbean community is really going to need additional support as we move forward.
I really agree. And you know, if everyone check out what ZENTS just launched. ZENTS is, you know, launched this amazing digital wellness that is absolutely incredible. Now, not everyone is lucky enough to have their marketing team. You know, a lot of the spas we've talked to, they're, you know, the single same spas, their whole team is furloughed, right? So so I think there's going to have to be in this, there's two phases I'd like to talk about. One, in this moment, how can we stay connected to our guests and give them love and wellness? You know, you can look at ZENTS and do a deep dive into what they're doing, if you have the ability to do that during this time. And that connection, that online platform of wellness and yoga and meditation and self-treatments will continue after, and that's a strong platform. And I'm working with spas that don't have the ability to do that, and that what we're doing is we're creating really beautiful content, like free wellness tip, and then classes that all their members and their residents can go to because everyone's furloughed. They don't have their yoga instructor anymore. And then beautiful at-home rituals, and then ways where we deliver the product directly to their guest, and they get credit for it so they can bring in revenue during this time, you know? So I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I think it's going to continue in a really creative way once people come back on board and they have their marketing team and they have their PR team. We'll start seeing people bringing that more in-house. But yeah.
And what if someone doesn't have a marketing team? What if they are their marketing team?
That's a lot of our spas, and that's what we're helping our partners with that don't have that. So I think you need to look for
good vendor partners.
You know, so many of our people don't do this. So I'm lucky enough that we have, you know, our warehouse didn't get shut down because we're still shipping soap and hand wash that we're able to ship. So that's when we created this kind of at spa program that we create for them, and then they send to all their customers, and then they order. And then we ship it directly to them, but the spa gets the revenue that they would have. So it's a way to kind of keep that programming and free classes and yoga and meditation and all of that, and also product being delivered to them. So I think you just have to get kind of creative, and you have to reach out to your community and say, hey, who can help? And just be really honest and vulnerable.
Well, that's right. Yeah. That's brilliant. And that's really what a vendor partnership is about. And finding those products and lines and people that will really help your business connect digitally. You all, if I could just interject, because my phone's about to die, that's why there was that pause and come back. For next week, we've received confirmation that our esteemed guest will be a researcher and scientist by the name of Mike Holacek here in Montana. He's developing food energy system. And it's really, really interesting. It's the complete cycle of plant-based healing, if you will, at its finest. So it's enclosed growth systems that I'm sure spas are going to jump on this, hotels, F&B. It's literally everything you need to grow your own food and process the end results of that food and the leftovers into energy. And it's an energy medicine model called a food energy system. And with that, it is fabulous.
Timely too, and I think it's going to be important for our restaurants to reinvent, because serving the same old food, because it's going to be a tougher market.
And transporting the food and all of that, so it brings the food local, you eat fresh, good, the enzymes, all active phytonutrients right there at the table. And speaking of right there, Cord, we're almost at an hour's time, so we don't want to not give our listeners a chance for your breath work. And thank you so much for your time with us today.
Absolutely. So the breath work, so I have a longer session that really goes into teaching this on the ZENTS Facebook page that you all can go to after. But also, please invite any of your friends, any of your family, kiddos that are home right now. This is going to be something so good for them. Anyone elderly that is having some health issues, this is a really, really important breath work. So what this breath work does is it boosts your immune system, first and foremost. It detoxes the body. It reduces stress and anxiety. It's great for panic attacks. And scientifically, what this does is it gets you out of fight or flight. Why it's so important to not be in fight or flight is when you're in fight or flight, it shuts off a part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, that makes you not be able to think and really think at a high level, right? So this is powerful. It also, what I love about this breath technique is it's a workout for your lungs. It's like going to the gym for your lungs, and we really need to strengthen our lungs. That's why I really send this to anyone that has asthma in your life, any friends or any elderly people. We want to really be working out our lungs. So super simple. Basically, the first thing you do is you're not going to breathe through your mouth. You're going to breathe through your nose, okay? So I'm just going to talk you through a few simple steps. And again, you can always hop on, and there's on ZENTS Facebook, 2 Saturdays ago, I did a class. Every Saturday I do a class, and also it's a breathing challenge. I want all of you to do this with me every single day for at least a month, and let's raise our vibration and get as healthy as possible. The moonshot that I want us all to do, let's get 1 million people around the world doing this, all right? Healing ourselves, healing the planet. So breathe through your nose, and the first thing have your eyes open or closed. First thing is, most of us just breathe and we stop right here. And actually, I want you to breathe all the way down into your stomach. So just while I'm talking, just be breathing through your nose and fill the stomach and push it out. And once, just start breathing in and out, but start practicing just that. Sense what it feels like to push your stomach out, to fill. So the first thing is you're going to breathe, bring all that air in, and it's just going to fill the stomach, push it out, no sucking in your stomach. And after your stomach is totally full, then you're going to fill your lungs, and it's going to stretch your lungs out. And then you're going to bring the breath all the way up, and then you're going to hold it for 2 seconds. And then you're going to empty the lungs, empty the very bottom part of that belly, and then hold for 2 seconds, and then fill. So it's that simple. And what you want to do is you want to breathe in for about 4 seconds, and then you want to hold for 2, and then you want to breathe out for about 4 seconds, and then you hold for 2. And then you want to keep on getting this is longer and longer. Once 4 seconds is easy, you want to move up to 5 seconds and holding for 2. And then you want to move up to 6 seconds and holding for 2. And you're just going to keep on working out. So let's working out our lungs. So let's do that for a second. Your eyes open or closed. Breathe in. All the way down to the stomach. Hold for 2 seconds. Breathe out. Hold for 2 seconds. Breathe in. Hold for 2 seconds. Breathe out. So keep on doing that while I'm talking. Just keep on doing that. And know that you can do this with your eyes open or closed. You can do this sitting in your chair, watching TV. You can do this while you're emailing. You can do this when you're standing up, doing the dishes. But become conscious and start strengthening your lungs and making your breath longer. And know that that is getting you out of fight or flight. So this, my dear friends, is the most powerful medicine I've ever found. And it healed this healed my brain and body, breath work. And what I love and what I think is so profound is that not only is it the most powerful medicine I've ever found, but it's free for every single person, and it's with you all the time, whenever you need it. So sending you all so much love. I hope that helps. Hop onto the ZENTS Facebook page though and join the 30-day challenge and send it on to as many people as you need. Let's get 1 million people breathing together, and let's just breathe through it together.
Thank you, Cord.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks, Steph. So much.
See ya.
Everyone.